everyone, welcome to my channel Notes from the Sewing Room. My name's Becky and welcome to my video today. Thanks for joining me. So today's video is about 10 different ideas that I have as quick DIY gift ideas that you can sew up for yourself or you can sew up for a friend or a family member for Christmas this year. Now, it's been a few weeks since I recorded a video. I won't bore you with all the details, but basically just had loads going on. So I'm pleased to be back on my channel today and sharing these different ideas with you. Now, before I get started, I'll just share what I'm wearing today, just for those of you who are interested. If you do watch my channel regularly, you'll know that I do try and sew up most of my own clothes. So today I am wearing a Tilly and the Buttons Agnes top with the ruched shoulder detailing, and I've also got on my Tilly and the Buttons olive pinafore as well. So yeah, two of my favourite patterns, so definitely recommend those if you are looking to try something new. So let's get to it and I'll tell you about my 10 different ideas of quick different bits and bobs that you can sew up for yourself or for others this Christmas. So the first idea that I wanted to share with you is actually something that I made earlier this year for myself actually, but I am planning on doing a few more for friends and family over the festive period. Now it's a really quick little toiletries bag. So I used the Sew Over It Toiletries Bag pattern to make this, but you don't have to use that. You could use a free pattern that you could find online, or you could make up your own pattern, to be honest. It's literally two rectangular pieces of fabric, so one for the front, one for the back, and it's got a lovely zip detailing at the top, and mine's got a lovely gingham lining. So the thing that I like about the Sew Over It toiletries bag is that it's a little bit different because it's actually got a square bottom, which I think is really helpful for sticking things in there. So of course this doesn't have to be a toiletries bag. You could use it for makeup, you could use it for pens and pencils, you could use it for perhaps taking your lunch to work if it doesn't need to be kept cool. It could be literally anything. So I really like this. I've used it quite a few times since I made it, and it's really super quick to make. The instructions are really good actually as well that you get with the PDF pattern. So I definitely recommend that one. I used a kind of heavier weight cotton for the outside, and then I've used a cotton poplin for the inside. You can get this project out of less than ½ metre of fabric for the front, the back, and obviously the inside. I actually had ½ metre of the outer fabric and the inner fabric, and I had loads left over. So it's a really good stash busting quick project that you could do. Of course, you could make this out of fat quarters as well if you wanted to. So really, the world's your oyster, but I definitely recommend making this kind of toiletries bag. So I just think it's so helpful for people. Idea number 2 on my list today is something that I love to make. And again, it's a great one for using up little bits of fabric that you've got lying around at home, or you could upcycle this kind of project really easily as well. So project number 2 is actually a book bag. Now, I call it a book bag. I think people have different names for this kind of thing, but this is what I'm talking about. So it's basically just two rectangles sewn together. I've put a lining in mine, and I've used a kind of twill handle which I just bought from a local craft shop. Mine's got a lining in. You really don't have to put a lining in, but the thing I love about these is they fold down really easily, so you can post them really easily without it costing too much money. You can put them through a letterbox quite easily. They look really nice, and they're really quick to do, and they look great, and they're just so useful. I've got quite a few of these in different types of fabric, and I really love using them. And quite a few times when I have got them out and about, people will say, "Oh, I really like your bag. Where did you get that from?" And that is just the best thing if you like to make things yourself. So for this one, I've actually made it for a friend of mine for Christmas. So I've actually put an initial on here, and I've put a star and some other little bits of glittery vinyl down the bottom. So I used some vinyl for this project from Happy Fabric UK. So I was actually sent the vinyl to have a go with in exchange for a review on my Instagram page. If you don't follow me on Instagram already, you can find me by looking for Notes from the Sewing Room, and you'll find me right there. But I really enjoyed having a go with the vinyl. But you really don't have to. Obviously, you could make some applique perhaps to go onto a bag, or you could literally just make a plain bag. So I've got plenty of plain bags, and they're great. So you can have loads of fun with the type of fabric that you use for this. I've used a denim for the outside because it's quite sturdy, and then I've just used a cotton poplin for the inside. But if you were using more of a lightweight fabric, perhaps a lightweight cotton poplin for the whole project, then perhaps you could add on some interfacing for the inside as well. But yeah, you can make the handles out of fabric if you want to, but I just find it easier to buy some kind of twill handles and sew those in. So yeah, that's project number 2. Project number 3 is again something that I love to make, and I always have a go at doing at Christmas time. And quite a few Christmases I've actually made this project for different kind of people, friends and family, that kind of thing. It's a great one if you're not really sure what to get people, but you want it to be used, a project to be used, that it can just, you know, come out time and time again. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about bunting. So I love bunting, and I'd literally have it up everywhere if I could, but I don't think my husband would like that very much. But I've made some lovely Christmas bunting here. So if I just hold that up to the camera, you'll see that I've got these lovely pug dogs on there, and they've got Christmas hats on. So I really, really like that. So to make bunting, if you are new to sewing, you don't need a pattern. Literally just draw yourself out a triangle and just draw around that, sorry. So I normally use a bit of leftover cereal box, cut myself out a triangle out of the cardboard, and then just draw around that on my fabric, and then cut out 2 triangles, one for the front, one for the back, sew them together, and then add on my bias binding at the top. I usually leave a little bit of excess bias binding at the side so that you can tie a nice little bow or a knot and hang that up on the wall a little bit easier. So yeah, you can have loads of fun with bunting. Obviously using lots of different types of fabric designs that you've got, lots of different colours. Of course, it doesn't have to just be in a Christmas design. You could make bunting that can be used all year round, to be honest. Or you could have some fun and turn your triangles upside down like I have here and make some Christmas tree themed bunting. So I've used some cotton poplin here, and then I've sewn on the Christmas trees by adding a little button to the top, and that attached it to the bias binding. So I added those on by hand, and then I've used some felt at the bottom to create the kind of tree stump bit at the bottom there. But yeah, really, really nice little project. And I think it's really fun, and you can just bring that out year after year and know that you've given someone a gift that's actually, you know, really kind of functional, that's going to brighten up the house over the festive period. There are loads of ideas online for different sorts of bunting as well. So I will, for everything that I'm mentioning today, I should have said earlier actually, put all the links down below for different projects that you can try and different patterns and tutorials and things like that I found. Idea number 5 on my list today is actually a festive table runner. So I love a table runner. They're so easy to make. You can literally make this project in less than half an hour. I recorded a video last year all about how to make a festive table runner, so I'm definitely going to put that link down below so that you can find it and check it out if you would like to. You don't need much fabric to make this project. It really depends on how long you want your table runner to be honest. So this is an example of a table runner that I've made before, using some lovely festive Noel Christmas fabric, and I've got this lovely Christmassy design in the middle. I really like how we've got the Noel fabric on the back, and then we've got a kind of border detailing in the middle. Yeah, so this is a really nice one. This is one of my favourites, but you can make them in so many different types of fabric. You don't have to do them for Christmas, of course. You could make one for a friend or a family member who you know, might want to display it at different times of the year. So really, the world is your oyster. I think the best type of fabric to use for this is perhaps a cotton poplin fabric, a cotton lawn, maybe some linen, something like that. So, but really, you know, as long as the fabric's not too heavyweight, I think most things would work well. It just needs to be something that's got a little bit of structure to it, so that it doesn't slip and slide around too much. But I think most fabrics would be absolutely fine to make this. So I do hope you enjoy giving a table runner a go. If you do give it a try, it's one of my favourite projects to make at this time of the year, just because they're really, really fun and they're super quick if you don't have much time. Project number 6 on my list today is actually something that I've had a go at for the first time this year, and that is reusable gift bags. Now I was thinking about what can I make for the nursery nurses at my little boy's nursery, and I wanted to do something that was creative, but also something that uses up some of the fabric that I already have. So I decided to make some reusable gift bags. So this is just a little toy that I've got in here, but obviously you don't have to put a toy in there. I'm planning on actually filling these with some sweet treats to actually give to the nursery. But all it is 2 pieces of Christmas fabric sewn together. So this fabric I got from Minerva. I've literally sewn together 2 rectangles of fabric. So these could be literally any size that you want them to be. Depends what you want them to fill them with. I've created a channel around the top there, and I've literally threaded through a ribbon. So I've used some ribbon that looks like a tape measure, but you could literally use any kind of ribbon that you've got lying around at home. But I just think these are really super fun and don't take very long to make at all. But also it just adds that kind of creative touch to something that you want to give as a gift to someone without actually buying wrapping paper. And you're really just kind of using up things that you've already got lying around the house. You could even use an old shirt or a nice pretty bed sheet or something vintage perhaps that you've got lying around you don't want anymore. You could cut that up to make some lovely pretty gift bags. So yeah, I think you've got lots of options there, but I'm really pleased that I gave these a go. I've made a selection of these that I'm planning on giving to people as gifts over this festive period. Idea number 7 today is actually not something to sew, it's something to eat. So I think this is a kind of treat that you could make for yourself. I actually made one for myself last night, or you could make it as something to give to someone, but actually not making it up in full, but actually just giving them the ingredients to make it themselves. So what am I talking about? I am talking about a cake in a mug that you make in the microwave, or a cup, should I say, for some those of you who don't know what I mean when I say mug. So this is a mince pie mug cake. So I'm going to put in an example on the screen of what I'm talking about, but it was so nice, super quick to do and really tasty. So what I thought is you could get yourself just a regular cup. You could buy a new cup to give to someone for Christmas, and then you could measure out the exact amount of flour, sugar, etc. that you need, and then all the person would need to do, if you could write them a really pretty note of the other ingredients that you need to go in, such as the egg and the butter, things that perhaps you wouldn't want to send through the post. And yeah, the instructions of how to make it, and it was done in about, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes probably, all in, by the time I'd kind of mixed everything together, put it in the microwave, and it was so tasty. And this is basically ideal for anyone who likes to eat a mince pie at Christmas, but you want to try something a little bit different. So this is a mince pie cake. So I was a little bit skeptical about how it would go, actually putting it into the microwave, but it really went quite well. So I recommend giving it a try this Christmas. Idea number 8 today is actually to make some pajamas. So this could be festive pajamas, or it could be pajamas that you could wear all year round. So there are quite a few different free pajama patterns out there if you wanted to give this a go. If you're looking to make some women's pajamas, there's a lovely pattern over on the assembly line that's free. It's a lovely little top that's short sleeves and some shorts. So perhaps not suitable for this time of year, but something that you could make for yourself or for someone else for later in the year. So I really like that one, but I'm actually making the Perry family pajamas at the moment that are by a company called Pattern Scissors Cloth. So there's basically options in there to make men's, women's and children's. So I'm just going to show you the tops for the ones I'm making. So this is a little top that I've made for my little boy. I'm using some winter fox themed fabric here. So it's a jersey fabric that I'm using, and then I've just edged it in a ribbing. So that's the one that I've made for my little boy. So the pattern starts for children at age 1, and then goes up to about age 11, I think. And then you've got options in there for women's and men's patterns as well. So this is the jumper that I've made myself. So it's going to be a kind of matchy type outfit. So, or a selection of outfits, should I say. So I still got to make the trousers, but I like that there's a whole kind of family of patterns all in the one pattern pack there, but you know, that is not the only company that do that kind of thing. I think Simplicity do options for that as well. I'm sure lots of other pattern companies do. Or of course you could just make the bottoms if you just wanted to make bottoms for pajamas. Perhaps you've already got a pattern to make pajama bottoms. I know I've got a selection of patterns that are just maybe using a woven cotton or something like that. You can have lots of fun for that kind of thing for Christmas. I've made pajama trousers before for friends and they've really loved them. So that's quite a quick project that I think you can do if you don't have much time in the run up to the big day. Idea number 9 today is actually to make a personalised Christmas jumper. So I'm actually going to put in a little bit of footage of a jumper that I've made for my little boy to wear at nursery this festive period, and of course at home as well. And I've actually used some vinyl transfers from Happy Fabric UK that, as I said earlier in the video, were actually sent to me to try out over this Christmas period. So I really got on with them well. You can buy pre-cut vinyl from them, I think, and you can also buy vinyl that you can cut yourself with scissors at home. So I actually got sent some pre-cut vinyl, and I also cut out some letters myself at home. It was so easy to do. I used some baking paper on top of the vinyl on my ironing board to iron on the transfers onto the jumper, and I'm really pleased with how it's worked out. I've actually done a reindeer design, and there's also a Christmas tree on there, and some lovely kind of other sparkly bits, which I think look really, really sweet, and just something a little bit different for Christmas. But of course you could do something like that for yourself if you wanted to make an adult sized jumper, or if you didn't want to go down the vinyl route, you could actually sew on some applique, some fabric perhaps, or you could sew on some felt. There's lots of different designs. You could do baubles, you could do a Christmas tree, you could do a reindeer, you know, really whatever you want. So I'm going to put on the screen some examples of ones that I found online, and I will put some links below to other tutorials. I think there was a tutorial that I found over on the Crafty So-and-so website that I thought was really good, and I think the Crafty Gentleman had also got one that I thought was quite nice as well. So yeah, lots of different ideas, but I think you could be really creative with that project. And if you didn't want to create a festive jumper that has got applique on the front, you could maybe do an initial for someone, or you could put on just another general design that they would like. So I think you've got lots of different options there to give something a go if you just want to let your kind of creative juices flow and try something new for this Christmas. And the final idea for this video, number 10 today, is actually to make a DIY craft organizer. So I'm going to put in some pictures of ones that I found online, but I think this is a really nice project to make for someone who you know enjoys sewing or knitting or crocheting or any kind of craft activity basically. So this organizer could store knitting needles, crochet hooks. You could make it so that it had some pockets in there, so you can put in some bobbins or some hand sewing needles. So I think depending on the way that you would design your craft organizer, you could have lots of different pockets in there for different things that you think that your friend or family member would find useful. Of course, if someone was into drawing, then you could make pockets or holders for pencils and pens and that kind of thing as well. So I think there's lots of different ideas there. You could maybe make this using some fat quarters or some other fabric that you've got lying around. I think it might work quite well with a heavier weight cotton perhaps, maybe some kind of upholstery fabric if you've got some of that lying around, because that would make it nice and structured on the outside. And then perhaps for the lining you could use something a little bit more lightweight, but obviously entirely up to you. I am going to put some links down below to craft tutorials that I think might be quite fun to try. But I hope I've given you some useful ideas there to give a go this Christmas. So of course you could do them at any time of year, but I think Christmas time is a lovely chance if you've got the opportunity to make some gifts for yourself or some treats for yourself or for friends and family as well. So I know I'm going to be giving some of these things a go over the next couple of weeks. I have been meaning to film this video for a few weeks, but I've just not got round to it. So hopefully it's not too late for you, and hopefully you've got a chance to make some of these bits and bobs as well. If you have enjoyed watching today's video, I would love it if you could give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment below if you've got any questions at all. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, that would be amazing if you could do that. But thank you to everyone who has subscribed already. I really, really appreciate it. But thank you for watching today, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.